Hello, it's Jacinta here. Welcome to Story Time. The star of today's story, or one of the stars, lives inside a shell. He has a soft body, but he can tuck right inside his shell. Do you know what it is? It starts with an S. A slimy, whoop, whoop, snail. Let's give him a shell. His body is soft. His shell is hard so that it can keep him safe. Get another brush and add some marks on the shell. And some white, get the water. Oops. Get another brush there. And some white dots. A snail is a small creature. The other star in the story today is very, very big. The Snail and the Whale, written by Julia Donaldson, with illustrations by Axel Scheffler. This tale is of a tiny snail and a great big grey-blue humpback whale. This is the rock, as black as soot, and this is the snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock. And as she gazed, she sniffled and sighed, "The sea is deep and the world is wide. How I long to sail," said that tiny snail. These are the other snails in the flock who all stuck tight to the smooth black rock. "Be quiet, don't wiggle, stay still, stay put." But the tiny sea snail sighed and sniffed, then cried, "I've got it, I'll hitch a lift." So this is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail that looped and curled and said, "Lift wanted around the world." This is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright. A humpback whale, immensely long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He held it out of the starlit sea and said to the snail, "Come with me." Can you see the snail climbing on? This is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail on his tail to towering icebergs and far-off lands with fiery mountains and golden sands. And these are the waves that arched and crashed and foamed and frogged and sprayed and splashed the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. These are the caves beneath the waves, where stripy fish with leathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins swim around the whale and the snail on his tail. This is the sky, so vast and high, sometimes sunny, warm and blue, sometimes filled with thunderstorms, with zigzag lightning, flashing and frightening the tiny snail on the tail of a whale. And as she gazed at the sky and the sea and the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand. She gazed and gazed, amazed by it all. And she said to the whale, I feel so small. Can we even see her? Let me see if we can see that. Right on the tip of the tail, over there. But then came the day the whale lost his way. These are the speedboats running a race, zigging and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale and with their ear-splitting roar, making him swim too close to the shore. And this is the tide slipping away. Oh no, poor baby. And this is the whale lying beached in a bay. Quick, off the sand, back to sea, cried the snail. I can't move on the land. I'm too big, moaned the whale. The snail felt helpless and terribly small. Then, I've got it, she cried, and started to crawl. I must not fail, said the tiny snail. And this is the bell of the school in the bay, ringing the children in from their play. And this is the teacher holding her chalk, telling the class, sit straight, don't talk. And this is the board as black as soot. And this is the snail with the itchy foot. A snail, the teacher turns pale. Look, said the children, it's leaving a trail. And this is the trail of the tiny snail saying, save the whale. These are the children running from school. And these are the fetching the firemen digging a pool. What a great idea, look at that pool. Squirting and spraying to keep the whale cool. Can you see the hoses pouring on top of that whale? Here come a good news page. This is the tide coming into the bay, and these are the villagers shouting, hooray, as the whale and the snail travelled safely away. Back to the dock and the flock on the rock, who said, how time's flown, and haven't you grown? And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice coral caves and shooting stars, enormous waves, and how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, saved the life of the humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail. And they sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of the grey-blue humpback whale. The end.